Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, and welcome to Intentional Productivity Tips. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, Megan, and I am so thankful that you're joining me here on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. Please also check out the USA Global TV and Radio website, where you can find more information about my show and others as well. Also, when you're on YouTube checking out either Intentional Productivity Tips or the USA Global TV and Radio channel, please remember to like us. Again, make the algorithms work for all of us. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for joining me. And as usual, today's show is one that I think that 100% of every professional human has experienced this productivity situation. In fact, if I were a betting person, I would absolutely put my money on the fact that everyone has experienced this. Today, we are going to talk about what happens when your day gets blown up. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about today's productivity quick tip, and it is how to handle a disrupted day. As I said, if I were putting my money on it, my bet is 100% of us have experienced this in a professional capacity. Do you remember a time, maybe recently, unfortunately, where you had your day all planned out? It was looking good. You were ready for it. You knew what you were going to be doing. And then boom, you got a message, maybe a Slack, a text, anyway message or an email or a carrier pigeon, or someone came and told you, boom, you've got something that's going to disrupt your day. And in this case, that boom isn't a good boom diggity. That boom is a, oh crap, I had such a good day planned. So today we're going to look at and we're going to talk about how to handle a disrupted day when plans get blown up. Because again, we know that it's going to happen. I'll tell you, one of the reasons this is at the top of my mind is because I recently had a client that called me one day. I got a message from him first, and he was like, Megan, I had my day planned, and then I just got this thing, and now it's not planned, and so I was like, why don't we chat? Let's see what we could do. Again, we know it's going to happen, and so how do we handle it? What do? We want to be intentional. We want to be strategic. We want to look for a positive, productive solution rather than irritation and frustration, which we know is a possibility at this time. So when we think about it, what is it that we're going to do when this happens, right? So when I talked to my client last week, again, we got on a call. He was telling me blah, 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 blah. And okay, we got through with I heard the situation. My first question to him, and my first question we always have to ask ourselves after we get the boom disruption to our day, we need to ask ourselves, can we do anything about it? Is there any change that we can make? Or is this a reality of our day and it is what it is, and we just need to make time, we need to move time and move. We need to take time and move forward, right? Is there something we can do about it? Or is it time to get over it and move on? One of the key elements of productivity is to remember that productivity isn't rigid. It's not about rigid schedules, but it's in the ability to adapt when the unexpected happens. One thing we can always plan is that our plan will need to be adjusted. Being intentional with your response turns disruptions into opportunity. So we want to look at How is it that we handle this situation? What do we do? Do we deal in that place of frustration? No, because that we know that's not going to serve us for very long. And that energy is wasted energy when we think about it. So we need to look at what's the best way to move forward. So again, last week, this happened with the client. So one of the things we did is we went through the steps that I have found that have worked for me and other clients when we've been in this situation. Let's talk a little bit about a productive path to reset our priorities, right? We know we had priorities set. They are no more. We need to reset. So what's a productive path to get there? So what we want to do is the first thing I always recommend is after that boom has come, after we've got that initial like, oh, your day is going to be changed, I always suggest pause, breathe, pause and breathe. It's best to pause and breathe before responding, especially if it's a surprise and we might not be happy or there might be some frustration or stress involved in it. Pause and breathe. The next thing I always suggest is to step away and reset. I always suggest get up physically and move away from your desk, right? Wherever it is that you're sitting, get up and physically move. I have like sometimes I always like to find wherever I'm working, places that I can take a little path, right? Maybe there's somewhere I could go look at, or it's just maybe I wash my hands, or maybe I get something to drink, or maybe I walk outside. But we want to walk away from that desk, from that laptop, from that screen that was telling us that our day was just disrupted. Because we want to come back and we want to sit down again. And when we sit down again, it's time to reset and move to the new plan. And so the new plan, and how are we going to reset and move to that? So the next step that we want to take when it comes to resetting is we want to identify and assess what are the priorities we need to complete that disrupting task. What are the priorities and actions? What is included with it? Is the disrupting task a meeting? If it's a meeting, is there something I need to be prepared for the meeting? Is there travel time? Is it a call? Do I need information for a login? Is it a status report, or I maybe need to answer some questions? And so maybe I'm going to need to take time to be able to do that. So what are all of the things that are going to be attached? I need a spreadsheet. I need information from someone else. Oh, I need to find that information, or I need to look this resource up. I need to call someone and ask them. I need to identify what are all of the things that have to happen for the disrupting task, right? What is this project? What are the tasks? We need to break it down. Then we want to go through and we want to identify, is there anybody that can help us? Is there any support, or is there anybody that can provide any assistance for us? We want to hand off whatever we can. Then after that, now we know, okay, we have a new schedule for today. We know that this task, let's say we've identified the task is going to, disrupting project is going to take us 3 hours. So now I want to go back and I want to identify exactly how many, so I've identified everything. So how many hours? Okay, it's going to be 3 hours, right? Because now I need to go back to my previous schedule and I need to look at what needs to be adjusted. All right, I know that the disrupting project is going to take 3 hours. So I need to take the next 3 hours clear and I need to reassess. Are there things I need to move? Are there things that I can still do? Are there things that I need to adjust? Are there things I need to delegate? What is it that I need to change from my prior task? Again, delegate where possible. Is there someone that can help me? Is there someone that I can ask for support from? Do it always. It's going to make your life easier. The next thing we want to look at, then we want to look at we now have a new prioritized day, right? We now know, okay, disruptor 3 hour task, then this is what the rest of my day looks like. Because then we now know who we need to communicate any updates to. Is there maybe someone I need to say, oh, I can't go to lunch now? Or, hey, that email I was going to send you today, I'm now going to send you tomorrow. Or, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late. Or, hey, I'm not going to finish this. Or whatever the communications from the adjustments that you've made. And then you want to communicate, is there a supervisor, a manager? Is there a colleague or a coworker, someone you need to communicate it to, right? So we want to communicate all the updates, because now the good news is, boom, we are ready to focus on moving forward, right? We're ready to focus on the unexpected project. What we have done with this path, the whole goal of this path, is to identify, to reset, to ask ourselves, how is it that we can take where we are and adjust what we need to so we're ready to move forward? Now, sometimes when we look at this, you might be like, oh my gosh, Megan, this is too many steps. I can't take that much time. I need to go, go, go. And I agree. When you think about it, most of the steps won't take very long. My goal is this process should not take you longer than 10 or 15 minutes. And then you're ready to go and move forward with a fresh reset and a new attitude and approach, right? We know we're going to need to also, besides working on our tasks that we need to change, we might need to change our mental attitude or playlist, right? We know that disruptions and distractions are going to happen. We know in productivity, what we plan is great, but we need to be prepared to adjust. We always know it's going to come down to our response, and we know our response is our choice. So one thing I always want to remind you, and one thing I want to say, if the unexpected happens, which it's gonna, when the unexpected happens, don't let it derail your day. Don't let the unexpected derail your day. It's bound to happen. Be prepared with a plan that turns that frustration into progress. We only have one way to focus our energy at a time. We can either make it frustrated and use our energy towards that or towards progress. And let's be honest, progress is less time than frustration, so we'll get done with everything. We are all a work in progress. It is important for us to learn how to move forward, to learn from our lessons, and to learn, because again, we know this has happened. Unfortunately, it will happen again. So it's about how we're prepared to deal with any unexpected changes to our plan or to our day or to any of our time, really. As with every week here on Intentional Productivity Tips, my goal is that you learn at least one thing that you'll be able to incorporate into your future time. Maybe the next time you have a disruptor, you're able to think, oh, wait a minute, what was it that she said? She said, stop and breathe. That would be great. If that's what you get, that's great. But again, my whole goal is that you remember to be intentional, strategic, and move forward in a productive way when those derailments happen, when things are disrupted. Remember, believe you can, because if you believe it, you can achieve it. It's not just a t-shirt and slogan. It is the truth. Our response is our choice. Our response is going to dictate our outcome. So I truly hope on today's episode that you have learned one thing that you'll be able to incorporate into your future productivity life. This has been Intentional Productivity Tips. I will be here with you again next Tuesday, as I'm with you every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I want to thank you for joining. I want to thank you for being intentional with your productivity. And I want to thank you for saying, hey, how can I make my relationship with productivity a little bit better? You can reach me here every week on Thursday at 2 o'clock. You can also email me if you ever have any questions at megan@indelible.global, or you can check out our website, indelible.global as well. Again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for your time. And I want to say, be intentional with your productivity. You have worked so hard to get to where you are. It's important that you take time to enjoy it and embrace it as well. I want to thank you. I will see you next Thursday. And now I am going to say, and now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life. one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.